if you're lucky, at some point you start to ask yourself, what is this experience I'm having? What is this experience that human beings are having? Why are we here? What is this world we're in? Where did it come from? Where is it going? What's the point of it all? What's my purpose? It seems as though everything is just patterns. Every day is another pattern. It seems as though life is just about making money, eating, sleeping. So what's the point? Everybody's interested in being happy, chasing the dollar, chasing whatever it seems that will make us happy. But it doesn't take long to start to realize that this is an unworkable situation we're in here. This situation we find ourselves in is an unworkable situation. Why? Well, because we don't have any control over any of it. We like to think we do, but the reality of it is we really don't. We don't know what's going to happen next. When we look back on our lives, it's clear that we didn't have control over most of what happened. And that presents us with a certain amount of fear about the future. What's going to happen next? The unpredictability of it. Every day when we look at the news and we see things happen that were unpredictable, catastrophic events, weather situations, wars, murders, all of the negative aspects of life and being in this world. And then as we look forward, we see that this life is a limited experience. And for those of us who are older, we know that it is not only limited, but it is brief. It's brief. Yeah, so it's a limited experience, it's brief. And in the end, this physical body dies. And in the end, we lose our lives. We lose everything we have. We lose the body. And then the question is that it? Is that all there is? That's not a new question. That question has been asked going back in time. Since the beginning of recorded time, that question's been asked. What is this? What am I? What's this all about? And there have been teachings and teachers that go back thousands of years that tell us that life is a possibility. Human life is a possibility. Meaning that to be born in a physical body and to be conditioned to be able to live in a society, to live among other human beings, is not the whole story. It's not the end of the story. That there is this possibility of realizing your true nature, a true nature that's beyond the physical body, a true nature that is eternal. As Muji said, you only have one life to live, and that life is forever. And he wasn't referring to the you know yourself to be with the physical body. He was referring to the awareness, to the consciousness that is the essence of our existence. It's the essence of our existence because without awareness, we're not here. Without awareness, we don't exist. And so awareness is the essence of our existence. Awareness is our true nature. Awareness is what we are. Awareness is what we are. We don't experience ourselves to be that because we're trained, we're conditioned. We're trained to believe we're a physical body. We're trained to believe that we're a personality. But it doesn't take much to see how limited that is, and it doesn't take much to see that there is another possibility. This awareness that we are, that is not physical, is real and is here and is always here. And the traditions and the teachings, the ancient teachings, tell us that if we practice meditation, if we sit still and be quiet, and we do this consistently over time, that we will begin to recognize our true nature as this stillness, as this awareness, as that which doesn't ever change, as that which doesn't ever move. And as we realize this, we begin to come into the reality of the possibility of our lives as human beings. And the reality of the possibility of our lives as human beings is the experience of being awake. Experience of being awake. The experience of being the awareness that is awake, being the awareness that is alive, being the awareness that is actually real. And then begin to experience life free from the limitations of being a personality in a physical body. This is the promise of the practice. This is the promise of the teachings. And as this occurs, we begin to experience that our true nature is always relaxed, always at ease, always at peace, always satisfied, always happy, always content. And so it becomes possible to be in the world this way, to have a way of being that is peaceful, to have a way of being that's relaxed, to have a way of being that's happy, to have a way of being that's excited, to have a way of being that is fulfilled. That doesn't mean that all of the things in life that come along with being in a physical body and come along with living in time and come along with living in the relative world, the circumstantial situation, it doesn't mean that any of that is different. All of that remains the same. And it doesn't mean that life becomes a consistently blissful experience in terms of, that everything is wonderful, everything is beautiful, everything feels good, nothing exists that is troublesome. It doesn't mean that that's the case. It means that the experience we're having of who we are is now free to no longer be at the effect of all that, free to no longer be stressed by all that, free to no longer identify with the physical body or the personality or the circumstance that we find ourselves in. And that this is life, this is human life. And when you wake up, you begin to have a different perspective. You begin to see that maybe all the suffering that occurs in the world is part of the grand design. Maybe all the suffering that occurs in the world has a purpose, and the purpose is to wake us up. Maybe the purpose of human suffering is to wake us up, to have us look for a solution, to have us seek an alternative. When you wake up and you understand that suffering has really only been a function of the way you've been behaving, which means you've been resisting, you've been struggling, you've been trying to change things constantly, and you've been a lost soul. You haven't known your true identity, and so you're trying to live life in this version of yourself that is not authentic, is not actually real. And so there's suffering. But when you wake up, you can see things as they are, and you realize that if you don't want to suffer, stop resisting. If you don't want to suffer, stop struggling. If you don't want to suffer, be yourself. Practice being yourself. Practice being the space instead of what's happening in the space. Practice being the awareness and allow yourself to experience your true nature. And your true nature is wholesome. Your true nature is relaxed. Your true nature is peaceful. Your true nature is not suffering because your true nature accepts everything as it is. Suffering is the result of rejecting what is. I mean, if you look in your life and you look to see, where is there suffering? Where are you struggling? Where is the stress coming from? Where is the unhappy stuff coming from? If you really start to pay attention, you will see it's coming from your resistance and rejection of reality. It's coming from the fact that what human beings do is they generate an alternative reality in their mind. Through thinking, you're generating a reality through thought that's different from the way things are, aren't you? And you're doing it all the time. And that reality you're generating through thought that's different from the way things are has you resist the way things are, has you question the way things are, has you say, no, you should be different. That's what you're saying to the people around you. Right? No, life should be different. That's what you're saying to yourself when you wake up in the morning. No, I don't like it. I don't want it. Yeah.
So can we ever know reality, though? We can know what's not real, but can we ever really know reality?
No. Not in the way, the question is, can we ever really know reality? And the answer to that is no. Not as who you are. Not as who you are. You cannot know reality. And when you do know reality as who you are reality. That's non-dual. You are reality. You no longer have to fight with life because you are life. You no longer have to resist life because you are life. You no longer have to question life because you are life. You're being life.
But as who we think we are, we can know that things aren't real. That's like step one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end is realizing that this will never work. It will never work. And it's not sufficient for there to be once in a while pleasure, once in a while satisfaction, once in a while peace, once in a while. That's what I call the casino version of life, the casino version, right? You win just enough to keep you playing. But if you step back and look at the bigger picture, you're losing. You're not winning. You're losing. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. You will not find a child there. So if you think you're controlling anything, let the mirror be your guide. If you think you're controlling anything, let your own mind be your guide, right? Because if you think you're controlling anything, then the first thing you must think you're controlling is your own mind. If you think you're controlling anything, the first thing you must think you're controlling is your own mind. Well, pay attention. If you pay attention to what's going on there, you'll find out you're not controlling that. Your own mind is happening to you. Your own mind is happening. Your own thought process is happening to you. Your own emotional experiences are happening to you. You're not feeling feelings. Feelings are feeling you. You're not thinking thoughts. Thoughts are thinking you. Where's the control? That's what these practices are teaching us to do, to pay attention. Why? So you can see what's going on. If you're not paying attention, you can't see what's going on. If you're not paying attention, you're living in a dream. You're dreaming things are the way they are instead of paying attention. If you start to pay attention instead of dreaming things are the way they are, you can actually see things the way they are. Seeing, that's why they call wake up, they call people who are awake seers, because they can see. They can see what's going on. And because they can see what's going on, they stop doing what doesn't work. They stop pouring energy into thinking. They stop pouring energy into taking all these activities that are designed to try and control life, to try and be happy, to try and be peaceful. Even though all you have to do is start to pay attention to realize that what human beings are doing is not working. What human beings are doing is not working. And you are one of them. You are one of the human beings that's doing what's not working. And if you don't like it, stop. If you don't like it, stop. If you can't stop, you better meditate. Because you can't stop. You can't stop. Until you meditate, until you wake up, until you come out of the dream, right? You can't stop because the thoughts you consider to be yours aren't yours. You can't even think a thought. The feelings you consider to be your emotions are not yours. They're just happening to you. The life that you think is your life is not your life. It's just happening. So there is a way out of this suffering. There is a way out of this death. There is a way out of this limited, brief experience called life. And the way out of it gives us access to eternity, gives us access to infinity, gives us access to no end and no beginning, but an experience of ever-present eternal life. To the average person walking around, this sounds like bullshit. It does, because it's too good to be true. Nobody believes anything that's free. Nobody believes that you can experience freedom and peace of mind and satisfaction and well-being just by practicing sitting still. That's absurd. We all know that. Get out, get a job, make money, be rich, buy lottery tickets, get drunk on the weekends. Be part of the flock that's flying off a cliff. So this is an answer, and it's not a popular answer because most people don't believe that it's true, don't believe that it's possible. But there are those who have done the practice and studied the teachings, and they are here to assert and declare that it is true and it is possible. The greatest religions say that it is. The greatest philosophies say that it is. So at very least, given the situation that you find yourself in, at the very least, you should at least be interested and curious enough to try it. And you should at least give it enough of a trial to find out whether what is being said is true. And what that means when it comes to meditation is you need to establish a practice of meditation. You need to do it every single day for a specific and exact period of time. And you have to do that long enough for you to start to have a clear experience of what's there when you're sitting there meditating. How long is that? I don't know. If you do it consistently and you do it with your heart in it and you do it earnestly and you do it with an understanding of what this makes available to you, it won't take as long as you might think for you to start to wake up and start to be aware of who you are, be aware of the truth. And once you get a taste of that, it'll be easy to maintain a practice of meditation, and you'll be interested in experiencing being awake consistently in your life because you know now that that is life, that is real, that's the real life. Up until then, it's not the real life. Up until then, you're dreaming. You're living in a world that is given by your conditioning, it's given by your thought process, it's given by your patterns, it's given by your brain. But it's not free and it's not real. So that's what is available through the practice of meditation. But it's up to you. It's up to each individual to either make a commitment to what this is or keep going to the casino, hoping that you can beat the house. Good luck with that.